Okay guys, so last week I made my debut in MP, which is the top tier of Monoposto Esports, where only the best drivers in the world compete for a chance at winning the Monoposto Esports Championship, and I was lucky enough to join them for one event, so here's how it went. Side note, if I went through all the rules and regulations to an MP race weekend, we would be here for literally forever, so all you need to know is that the first 48 hours is qualifying, where you have 3 attempts to submit the fastest lap time possible in order to gain the highest position on the grid you can. The higher up the grid the better. Top 8 make it through to the upper bracket knockouts, so that was the ultimate goal for me. But anyway, here is how it went. The submissions opened Wednesday night. I tried to get one in, but ultimately I knew I could do better, so went back at it again on Thursday afternoon, and then I struck gold. My first submission was a personal best, and it was good enough to take provisional pole position. It was a 53.607, and it put me in front of the reigning Monoposto Esports World Champion, but it was very short-lived as he soon replied with a 53.5. So Friday afternoon I knew I needed to put the effort in if I wanted to take this pole, and after countless hours of pushing and getting some lap times ruined that really could have taken it, I ended up with a 53.605. Incredible improvement, 0.02 of a second, and it did place me second on my debut qualifying, which was an incredible result and far beyond what I had originally expected, even though Canada is one of my best tracks. But now it's time to get into duels. I had a quarterfinal to get through, and it was against one of the fastest esports races out there, Henny. Let's see how it went. So, going into this duel, I was obviously very nervous, seeming as this was my first time dueling somebody of the ranks of Henny in an actual tournament. So I just wanted to get it over with mainly, but it's always good to learn from mistakes. Now, as you will see on this first lap, either my internet or his internet was a bit buggy, and as a result you can see Henny's car like jumping forwards and then staying stationary on the track map. It was pretty weird, but back to the duel. Generally I held my nerve really well on this first lap. I had some really good sections of track, and actually overall looking at it I was slightly ahead of him, I think, which was really good because it showed that I did have strong pace on this track, which I knew I did, and it showed that I could actually compete on a competitive level here, which is what I set out to prove going into this. But anyway, we are going along the back straight at the moment, heading towards the start-finish straight, and then eventually turn 1 and 2, which is where it all went a bit wrong. So I didn't actually crash here, I just lifted for turn 1 a bit early, which then led to my turn 2 being really slow and sluggish, having to use extra battery on the exits, and as a result having slower acceleration, and Henny actually passing me by about a 10th. And this corner didn't really help, seeing as I took it like really mid, and so I knew that I was going to need an absolute ripper of a hairpin, and so I decided to send it going into this, and send it I did, as you can see, off the track into, and my chances of a top 4 finish also went into the wall in that very moment. But it was very competitive up till then, so at least I can be proud of myself for that. And anyway, that's the first duel, and we will get on to the second duel in just a moment's time. So this duel was against Rogachev, who is a very well regarded and very fast driver, just like Henny, who I previously went up against. And so I knew this was going to be tough. If I won, it was P5. If I lost, it was P7. So it was a point scoring finish either way, but I would have liked to have won. Anyway, I didn't record this because I am stupid, quote Charles Leclerc, and so I can only tell you the results of this, and I can tell you it was competitive like the last one. However, I was lacking pace again in the turn 1-2 complex at the start of lap 2, and so that did drop me behind, and I think I lost by about half a second at the end. So, you know, it's not terrible, but there's a lot of room for improvement, and going up to MP next season, which is what I hope to be doing, I can take this as some experience, and I can just take this event in my stride, because I know it hasn't been that bad. And so yeah, that's basically it. I just wanted to let you guys know about how I did, which was quite well. I shot myself in qualifying, so that was a good surprise, but Jules still could be improved on. Anyway, I will see you guys next time. I have some really exciting videos planned for you guys, so be sure to subscribe, don't miss those. But for now, peace out.